Good. Hello. My name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Lady V. She's a life coach, author, editor, and radio personality, and the CEO of Elliott Professionals. I'm super excited to be able to share this story with you guys today and really see where this conversation unfolds and what value we can find out of it. Thank you so much, Lady V.
Man, thank you for having me and for giving me this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. Everybody has a story. What was life like before you got into coaching, and really what was the catalyst that brought you into the field?
Before I started coaching, I actually went through a life of the streets, basically. And when I say the streets, that means that I've sold drugs. I've been a hustler mostly all my life. And, people always told me that I wasn't going to amount to anything and I wasn't going to be anything. And I was going to have a bunch of children with a bunch of baby daddies. And, if they really gave me this, the stereotype because they felt like I was promiscuous and I would never do anything with my life. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I had to not only prove to myself, but I also had to show other people that, you know what, I am more than what people give me credit for. I am more than the typical stereotype. Mm-hmm. And so I made sure that no matter what I was going through, no matter what facts and factors that I was facing and obstacles that was coming in my life and the trials and tribulations that I was faced with, I knew that I had to make something positive. I had to turn a negative into a positive. And that's what I wanted to do. And it was really once I got married is when I really realized that, okay, so many people already come to me anyway, and it was something that I was passionate about doing, of helping other people. So I knew that I had to get into life coaching. But first, before I could get into life coaching, I had to understand why and the reasoning of me being a life coach. But in order for me to help somebody else, I had to help me first because I was lost. And I was in a dark place and I didn't know where I was going and where I was coming. And in fact, I lost me. And so now I had to go through a process. And in that process, I learned how to release, rebuild, and rebrand. And those are the three keys and the three items that I teach people now is how to release their past. Because our past holds us down for so many things, in our lives, and then to be able to rebuild your presence, which is who you are right now, so that you can rebrand your future. Because if you don't know who you are and how to love you, you can't love nobody else. And you can't expect anybody to love you genuinely until you know fully how to love you first. And those are the reasons why I chose to be a life coach and the things that I went through to become who I am and to be good at what I do today.
Yes. Because inside of there's a lot of different places we can kind of, transition to. But you said, I had to figure out why I wanted to be a life coach. So what was the reason behind, or what did you finally, put together as to the reason why?
I realized that if I'm going through it, somebody else was going through it too. And I knew that there was other people who need somebody that can relate to what they're going through. Because a lot of people can just say, oh yeah, okay, but they really don't relate to what you've been through unless they've been through the storm. And so for me, being through so many tragic things in my life, from molestation to abuse to, all these different things, to the streets of, almost been killed and so many different things in my life, I knew that somebody else, guess what, also went through that, and it needed me to tell my story. They needed me to be able to listen and feel their pain, understand their pain, because when you're going through that kind of pain, not just your ordinary person can really talk to you and tell you and feel what you're saying. So I knew that I had to be the one. Since I've been through it, I wanted to be able to help them. I wanted to be able to share my story and let somebody else know that, baby, you're not alone. You're not going through this by yourself. You're not, there's other women out here that suffer. There's other people out here that suffer through what you've been through, for men and women. So I wanted to be able to share that and to relate to that. And that's what I learned out of this journey is that's why I knew my story would help somebody else.
Mhm. So, let's talk about, in your three R's, I think one of them was talking about like rebranding. So after you've released everything and after you're kind of in that rebranding process, can you talk about how to ignore, the old story? Because I'm sure that when you're rebranding yourself, you're gonna be walking down the street, maybe you run into someone who knew you from the old story and maybe they try and pull you back into it. Can you talk about really how to stay strong during the rebranding period and ignore everybody else?
Oh, yes. First of all, when you're going through the process, you're going to learn how to become strong anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because your first thing is to release your past. And that's part of your past. And once you can release that, nobody can bring you back into that because you're already strong enough to say no. Because you know the damage that part of your life has caused you. So you don't want to revisit. And a lot of us do. And that's the reason why I like to call them the test of life, because that's what we do. If we don't pass the test, we got to keep retaking it.
Yeah.
And so if you have to be able to be strong. Now, if you're not strong enough, sometimes you just have to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
When you see it coming, before you see it, you got to say, oh, and walk the other way. Because sometimes we're not strong enough to tell the people that we love no. Or tell the people who know the old us. That's what, they know the old us. So they like, oh, I remember when, and, even though sometimes you want to cross that line because you like, ooh, them were the days. Ooh, them was, ooh. But you remember the hurt and the pain that those days also caused as well. So you have to ask yourself, is that really what I want to go back through? Is that really what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, then by all means, do what you want to do because that's your life. But I would not suggest you to do that because now all you're doing is opening up that old wound that had kind of healed. Now you're opening it up wider and it might not heal this time. So we have to be mindful of the choices that we make for our lives and our decisions.
Now, just thinking about right now, some people are in a state of quarantine. So some people are going out, some people are coming back in, some people have never left. Can you talk about maybe what's one of the greatest takeaways that you've taken from this slowdown time?
The greatest thing that I have taken away from this is being able to actually realize what's going on, but I've been able to focus on me more. And so I've been trying to show people how to focus on them more because this is the time, because a lot of times we're so busy in the shuffle, in the run, we're got to do this, we got to do that, we got to run here, we got to go here, we got to do this. This is God's time of saying, hey, slow down, take time for you. So this is my time for me to focus on me. So I'm in my rebranding stage, as well. I'm rebranding who I am as a person as well. And not just as a person, but my whole business and everything. So that's what it's all about, is being able to focus on what's important to you in your life.
Cool. And, kind of as we go to that rebranding or that, kind of looking towards the future, what's the vision look like for you and your life for as far down the road you like to think or talk about?
Man, for me, I want to be able to see people, I'm talking about be empowered, like be so enthused about what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and you loving what you do. So I want people to be empowered, enriched, and encouraged to do greater things all the time. And if I can help people to be able to release that and to do that, I'm going to do that. I mean, that's what I feel like, that's my purpose. That's my calling. And we all have a purpose. And a lot of times, sometimes, people ask me all the time, well, Lady V, how do I find my purpose? Sometimes your purpose is already in front of you. You walk your purpose every day, and some of us don't even know that we do that.
Yeah.
You walk it every day. Remember, I have to tell people all the time, you have to remember that God gave each one of us a talent. He gave each one of us something special and unique about us as an individual. We have to be able to tap into that, find it, and once we realize it, then we know how to execute it.
Mm-hmm. So, let me ask you this question. So everybody has a different, barometer for success, and everybody has a different meaning of what success means. Can you talk about what success means to you?
For me, success means being able to fulfill your goals. A lot of times we make our goals real extremely high, and we don't need to do that. You have to make realistic goals for your life for that time. And once you can make these realistic goals for you, I'd say make 3 to 5 goals that you can accomplish within 12 months. Once you have accomplished those 3 to 5 goals, you're successful because you accomplished what you set out to do. And it doesn't have to be big. Sometimes it's the little things that matter the most that gets us to those big things. We have to pick and we have to build a lot of times for the bigger things. And so in order to be able to do that, you have to start small. So for me, success is just being able to accomplish that one thing. And for me, I look at it as if I help one person, I don't have to help the world. I don't have to help 1 million people. I just need to help one. And if I help one person, that means that I am successful because I have accomplished what what he needed me to do. And I've done my part and I did. So now I'm successful, which means that now I can go, since I did that, now my goal is to do 2 people, 3 people, however, and so forth and so forth. But I started small.
Yes.
And I became successful at what I do.
So let me ask you this question. So then for the people watching who, don't know yet, where can they go to connect with you further or learn more about you?
You can actually find everything that I do on www.linktree.com/ENP, Elliott Night Professional. So E as an Elliott and N as a Night, P as in Paul Professionals. Okay. So that's where you can find the radio, I'm talking about the life coaching, the website. Anything that I have going, you can find every link right there on Linktree. So Linktree ENP is where you can find it.
Nice. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate speaking with you and learning more about you.
Man, thank you again for this opportunity. And I just want to say that I hope that so many people find their purpose and understand that focus on you. This is your time to focus on what it is that you want to do and be nothing but the best you.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this question. So before you leave and before we, sign off, I think a lot of people struggle with purpose because they don't know whether, they're hearing the right purpose or if it's like the perfect thing, right? Because a lot of people have branded purpose as the one thing you should do for your entire life. Can you maybe talk about, what purpose actually means?
Right. Purpose is actually just being fulfilling with what you want to do, what you love to do. It's almost like having a passion for something. That's how I look at my purpose. You have to have a passion because, and it'll change. It always changes, because you might feel like, oh, this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. But then it'll change because you find something else that you're better at, that you didn't know then, but you know now. So as you will walk in your journey, you will start to find your passion, which means you will find your purpose.
Nice. You know, for those watching, we thoroughly hope that you found some value out of that. Even in that last sentence, I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people out. Because, you know, just like she was talking about earlier, it's all about small steps. We build, we build, we build, we build. And then it starts to snowball. Then you hit that critical mass. Then you're successful. And you're, well, actually, no, you've been successful because you had those little steps each way. Now, you know,
Mhm.
if you guys are looking for a place where people are improving themselves and helping others do the same, I recommend you go and check out our free community. I'm going to put some links either above or below. And inside the community, we're basically encouraging each other every single day and helping each other, you know, really go and be more successful, whatever that might mean for you. So if that's what you've been missing in your life, go on ahead and click on the link either above or below the video. We'd love to have in there. It's been a very, very curated group of people who are only positive people. So if that's what you're missing in these times of, you know, some people feeling isolated, come and join us by clicking the link either above or below. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some great value as well. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and 1.